Hello, and welcome to the presentation on data mining, pros, cons, and policy differences between Europe and the United States. My name is Megan, and I'm a student at Florida International University. This presentation will explore the arguments for and against the use of data mining, as well as policy differences between Europe and the United States. Here is how the presentation will be structured. Since the dawn of the computer age, data mining has been a necessary evil. While there are many positive reasons for the need of data mining, there is also a long list of negatives. Thankfully, there are policies in place to protect a user's privacy. However, data collection standards vary from country to country. As data collection awareness rises, more and more policies are being put into place. Time after time, the process of collecting and analyzing data has proven its worth. The benefits of data mining ranges from increased company profits all the way to medical advancements. Data mining software provides access to an unlimited amount of data. This allows businesses to create marketing materials that target specific prospective clients. In other words, if a person were to use a search engine to look for a new car, it could result in a local auto dealer's advertisement to appear in his or her social media feed. This type of marketing is more likely to result in a transaction, which in turn increases a company's profit. In addition, data mining can also aid in medical advancements. The information collected from data mining reveals a pattern for diseases, which allows an epidemiologist to configure current overall health of a region. Health summaries are then developed by using regional health analysis along with patient health records. These summaries are revealed by contamination control specialists who determine which precautionary measures need to be taken, if any. While there are undeniable benefits regarding the use of data mining, there are also severe consequences. Applications being accessed every day, such as social media networks and financial institutions, are constantly collecting, storing, and analyzing sensitive information. This vast and ever-growing amount of data being collected is a honeypot for privacy and security violations. For instance, a user may only enter little bits of their personal information into different sources. However, that information can later be linked together and be used with or without his or her knowledge or consent. Data breaches are unfortunately becoming a common occurrence. The worst data breach to date took place in 2017 and affected over 143 million people. That's nearly half of the population in the United States. Equifax is a credit bureau which obtains and analyzes people's most sensitive information and configures a credit rating based off that information. The Equifax breach is considered to be the worst so far because information such as full names, social security numbers, birth dates, addresses, and in some cases driver's license numbers were hacked. Once this personal data is exposed, it will stay out in the open indefinitely and can be accessed or sold at any moment. This breach puts the affected population at greater risk for identity theft or fraud without any resolution in sight. In May 2018, Europe enforced their newest data collection policy, the General Data Protection Regulation, also known as GDPR. The GDPR is Europe's way of ensuring a user's personal data, whether collected by a computer or a person, is protected. Unlike before, the new policies require that only a minimal amount of relevant personal data is securely processed for a particular purpose. and that the data's life cycle is well controlled. Data collection is being further regulated by requiring a user's explicit consent before his or her information is collected. Another noteworthy change is that the GDPR now requires companies to report a breach to the authorities within 72 hours of the infringement. This will increase a company's accountability and facilitate a swift remediation. In attempt to globalizing these regulations, any company doing business with Europe is required to abide by these policies. Unfortunately, the United States data collection policies lack in comparison to Europe's General Data Protection Regulation policy. Instead of having one blanket policy to reference like the GDPR, the United States has a makeshift grouping of hundreds of federal and state laws that, when combined, should protect the data of U.S. residents. These jumbled regulations are confusing and make it difficult to understand what is being protected and what is slipping through the gaps. As stated in Sloan's article, this patchwork system of federal and state data privacy regulations overlap, dovetail, and contradict one another. By being complacent with the current system, the United States is inhibiting a user to fully enact their right to privacy. The rights approach best fits for this ethical analysis. People have the right to privacy, and data mining without consent strips a user of their most basic right. Europe's GDPR policy gives the user their rights back by requiring websites to explicitly request consent to collect data and provide details for what the information will be used. The user is then again empowered by being able to decide whether they want to grant permission or decline. In addition, if one were to take Kantianism into consideration, it could be stated that data mining does not respect the autonomy of a user. As best said by Herschel and Moriori, people typically do not opt in to their data collection and exploitation, demonstrating their consent and hence shared responsibility. This means that by default, their privacy is compromised for the gain of another. In conclusion, data mining can be utilized in several different ways. There are many advantages and disadvantages regarding the use of data mining software. The policies on data collection differ in each country, and, due to Europe's General Data Protection Regulation policy, the regulations are finally becoming more humane.